Announcement. Greetings, Cyraxx. We saw your little, shall we say, chat with Thump last night. Let me tell you, it's pretty clear you've been practicing your stories. Unfortunately for you, however, the stories are as dumb as they were the first time we heard them. We've been practicing too. Hell, you repeat yourself so much, we can't help but get practice at fact-checking the same things. So for at least the fourth or fifth time, let's hear Cyraxx's side of the story and vivisect it.
I hear what you're saying, Chance. I hear what you're saying, but I've got some other concerns, okay? I've been reading the chat. Why is everyone...
Listen, don't be reading the chat, man. Don't be reading the chat, bro.
Hold it right there, Raxy. You're being a manipulative little turd here. In any disagreement, whenever one side says not to listen to the other, it always comes through as a transparent attempt to keep valid points out of the discussion. An objective and fair person would encourage Thump to listen to both sides and decide on his own. Cyraxx can't allow that. He won't allow it. And such an attitude should make anyone suspicious that whatever he doesn't want people to know is probably true.
I've been reading it and I've got a thought in my head. I've got a question that I need to ask.
All right.
Why does everyone call you a pedophile?
Answer! Because he is a PDF file. Though, to be more specific and technical, he's actually a hebephile. Cyraxx doesn't go after children under 12 or 13. He prefers young teens. Believe it or not, there are different names for people who target different ages of minors. However, PDF file probably works too. It wouldn't surprise us if he was found going after a 7-year-old.
Because Marty illegally set me up so he could isolate me.
Corrections. First, catfishing is not illegal. It's a violation of terms of service on many social media sites. But breaking TOS is not breaking the law in this case. Second, Marty did not set you up. Once you had been caught, he did make it widely known you fell for a PDF trap.
The person in question
Like he Chris Hansen'd you?
No. He did some very illegal shit because he wanted to isolate me.
Correction. Cyraxx also believes that what he is about to describe is entrapment. And while entrapment is indeed against the law, it's a crime that can only be perpetrated by law enforcement. Neither Marty nor the woman he is getting ready to mention are affiliated with law enforcement.
He won't admit it, and the chat won't admit it, but he hired Mass Troll Mafia to be an of-age female, and then she ended up tricking me into sending certain photos.
Major corrections! First, Cyraxx thinks Marty hired Kate, aka Masshole Mafia, to catfish him. He is incorrect. In his mind, nothing happens to him without Marty's approval. While we're sure Marty would like things that way, it's simply not the truth. Raxy was reaching out to bullied teens in his social media posts. He said he knew what it was like and would be happy to be a shoulder to cry on. Kate noticed this, and like any critical thinking person would, became suspicious. So, she contacted Cyraxx in the guise of a bullied 14-year-old. It did not take too long before Cyraxx proved Kate's suspicions to be well-founded. Here is a text exchange between Raxy and Kate. YouTube disclaimer, neither party in this exchange is a minor. He has already sent one picture of his penis. Note how Kate compliments the size and Rax says it's all hers. In some of his retellings, he tries to claim that he talked to Kate on the phone before this. During the supposed conversation, she said she was 18. We do not believe any such conversation occurred based on what is revealed here at the end. However, for now, note how he doesn't let it bother him that she said she was 14 going on 15. Instead, he asks for nudes while implying it was time to lose her virginity. We would have first not sent a dick pic, but also would have stopped in our tracks upon seeing a message she was going to be 15. Not Cyraxx, though. It doesn't bother him in the least. At this time, anyway. And here you can see she provided something he approved of. Highly approved of. So much so, in fact, that Kate received another penis picture. By the way, this is what he does with every potential female he meets. In his mind, Chicks just want to see his battered penis. In the recent Taylor saga, his first reaction upon hearing one of her kids was in the hospital, sending a penis picture. Smooth Raxo, real smooth. But that's not all. Oh no, Cyraxx wants something even naughtier from his target. When he gets it, he came to realize he made a huge mistake. Reading this, it's clear he knew all along she wasn't 18. You don't tell an adult not to do anything after having just used them for a cheap jerk-off aid. Also be sure to note how he says to ignore those idiots. That's why she was there in the first place, because Cyraxx was reaching out to bullied teens. Here he is, using the classic Predator's closer. Don't tell anyone, we made a big mistake. This is why people think he is a PDF. And he's been caught several more times doing the same thing. This is the truth. Now let's hear his version.
And then she turned around and sent one in return. And then after that photo was sent, she ended up claiming to be underage. I am not a pedophile, bro. I'm really not. Marty did all that shit to isolate me.
Interjection! Bullshit! You simply were tricked into a trap that only sickos fall for. You've fallen into the same traps, over and over and over, to a person who would never fall for one, let alone multiple. You are most definitely a PDF file, Cyraxx.
And why did he want to isolate? And why did he isolate me? Because he wanted to make money off me. And
well, I'm glad that's cleared up. Like, I just want to hear your side of all these things, Chance, because I've heard a lot of people say other things.
Dude.
There's some few other things I want to talk about.
Oh, I know, dude. Like
Who's Blind Billy? Who's Blind Billy?
Billy was an old friend of mine from high school. We were both underage. He ended up catching dealings for me, and
oh, here we go! In his 7th or 8th year of high school, Cyraxx was literally old enough to buy alcohol when he went for a sleepover at a younger classmate's home. What happened that night has varied depending on Cyraxx's retellings. At first, his story was that the classmate, a legally blind boy named Billy, assaulted Cyraxx. He, Raxy, was then removed from school for his own safety. A story that made zero sense. If Raxo was indeed the victim, blindness aside, it would have been Billy who got the boot. Later, Cyraxx admitted it was kind of a mutual thing, and it looks like that's the story he's sticking with. However, he wants to make it seem like they were both underage at the time. Billy was, Cyraxx was not.